up there?
I couldn't see that if you paid me.
That means that we're live.
Should we invite these people over to hang with us?
Yeah, we should ask them.
Hey!
We're doing Bartertown from a car.
We're doing Bartertown from the van.
We're in Salt Lake City.
See the mountains?
Hey, you wanna? No, they don't.
We're in Salt Lake City.
We're in Salt Lake City,
and I want to tell y'all.
Where's the camera? Oh, it's over there. Okay, it's over there.
I want to tell y'all.
Yes.
Not you.
Oh.
You all. You all. You're lucky to have us, and you're lucky you don't live in Salt Lake City.
Why would you say that? Some of our people may live in Salt Lake City.
Listen, it's beautiful. I'm looking at freaking snow-capped mountains in the distance.
There are no
It looks like
toys.
Narnia.
There are no toys.
Salt Lake City is as dry as the Salt Flats.
They looked pretty wet when we were there yesterday,
when it comes
actually.
to toys, yes, okay.
There are
Salt Lake
no
City is
vintage
as
toys in
dry
this town.
as a Mormon politician's wife's hair. This place has nothing.
So we brought more vintage toys with us in this van from our earlier parts of our trip than there are in this entire town. Yeah, there are no vintage toys. You okay?
Really, no vintage comics. I mean, we went to 2 comic shops. No real wall books. No real back issues.
Not to say that the shops were not good. They were great for what they were, which is like the previews, diamond, new comic kind of deal.
Say hi to my mom.
Hi, Mom.
Making sure we're alive here.
No vintage.
Yeah, so their back
toys.
issues for the most part of one of the comic shops was just stuff they didn't sell of new books, so they end up in the back issue.
They were modern.
And it's
back
cool.
Issues.
I got to catch up on a lot of the GI Joes I needed, but I would have spent some money on some high end back issues. There's just
we did see one. We saw Mr. Miracle 1.
Oh yeah,
that is the only vintage comic
that's
that we
it,
saw.
And that's bronze. I haven't seen any Silver Age. We just saw one Golden Age book in an antique store.
In an antique store.
It looked like Scooby-Doo had lived with it for a while.
You just say random things.
Chris Wilde's looking forward to the Halloween parade. Getting the truck ready. I can't wait. We're going to be doing if we're back in time.
Yeah, we may listen if
we're back in time.
We're not coming back from this trip until we've made enough money to pay for this trip, so we may never come home.
Mark Acaro, hello. Hey guys, sorry this isn't a typical Bartertown, obviously, but we had to go live. It's Sunday.
So Bartertown has been an absolute. My plan for Bartertown.
I would like. Go ahead.
My plan for Bartertown this week was to upload things like to claim on the road. We have had no internet at all. And when I do have internet,
it's been sporadic and bad.
When I do have internet, Facebook is just like error.
The internet we've had hasn't been strong enough to actually do a live video.
This is the best internet we've had the entire time.
Listen, first of all, hello, especially hi VIPs.
Yes.
Want to welcome you.
Hi.
You've been following our antics.
Yes.
We have been filming because internet hasn't been great. We have just been filming.
Yeah.
So we have so much to film of us going through stuff and rooting through stuff.
We want to actually put together like some episodes.
Yeah, we're gonna put together some kind of episodic road trip, Farpoint 40 thing. Hal, you're right. Salt Lake City, quite a few stores are not open Sunday. Yeah, well, it's a Mormon town.
But even if they were open, they would not have what we want because they are not.
Well, we asked the places that are open, and they were like, no. No, you maybe thrift stores.
Exactly. There are something called the Deseret Industries up here, which is like Goodwill back home.
Which are closed on Sundays.
Which are closed on Sundays, obviously. But they're the big thrift stores up here, and that's apparently the only place to score any kind of vintage
Veronica,
stuff.
hey. Tiffany, that sounds cool.
I'm glad our internet is vaguely decent enough that we can do this stream right now.
Doug said, I was liking the one shop you were in. They were jacked to the gills, but we lost video. Yeah, that wasn't in
Silva's.
Salt Lake City. That was Silva back in Nevada, California? That was back in California.
That was like 2 states ago. I don't even know.
Yeah, that was Maryville, California, before we went over the Donner Pass.
What was great about Silva's is that they were a family-owned and operated small shop, and anything that you guys wanted, VIPs, they said just give them a call and they will hook you guys up.
Because we shot a lot of video there. You should go back and watch the live video. If you see something, they'll do it. They're very nice people.
They're very cool.
The things these eyes have seen since we came, we went over the Donner Pass, and it was, like I said in a post I made, if you're going to starve to death, do it somewhere breathtaking, because that place is...
It was gorgeous.
Wow.
It was scary. The roads, there's no guardrail, and we're like on this little road, like, and a car comes, and we're like, where do we go?
Doug said there was a place in Nevada that was packed to the gills, too. There was another place that was packed to the gills. I forget what it was.
There's been so many places.
Not packed. Like,
no,
Silva's was packed, and there was one other place, and I forget what it was.
I would look on my phone, but we're recording with it right now.
I forget what it was, Doug.
Anyway.
It was probably where we lost internet.
We have lost internet in
everywhere.
every store we've been in.
Crossing the country, losing internet in every city.
Yeah.
So right now I'm looking at a mountain range.
Can we spin it so they can see it? I don't think so. Because I did it backwards. Because the camera's over here. If I spin it, they're just going to see the freaking... They're not going to see anything cool.
That's a shame.
Well, maybe we can, at the end, we'll pull it off and spin it for them.
Yeah, at the end we'll show you what we're seeing here. Who's been paying attention to our posts? Oh, I just reloaded the stream.
I'm glad you did that. It's really smart.
Hurrah! The chat is waiting for new messages.
That's great. He just refreshed this chat, so we have no idea what anyone's
saying. We had an amazing breakfast of pancakes.
Coastline Route 1 in California is dangerous and beautiful.
So we didn't get to do much at Coast Route 1. We did
not on this trip. Because this trip is very specific. We're traveling on Route 40 on this trip.
We did go over the Golden Gate Bridge, which is California Route 1.
Yeah.
But that was it. We went over it, turned around, and came back because we wanted to say we went over
and visited the Full House, just because it was very close to where we were. But we're sticking specifically to Route 40. We're about to actually get on what is actually Route 40 very soon. Between San Francisco and Silver Summit, Utah, Route 40 really doesn't exist anymore. It's been replaced by I-80. There are some business loops where we're getting off in these small towns to see, because that is what Route 40 was.
Yep.
But for the most part, the route doesn't exist, except in some historic, they call it historic.
So especially in Nevada and Utah, little towns, as Route 40 went through those towns, because it was nothing, little towns would spring up. And then as those towns grew, when I-80 was made, they made it over the towns. So they made the Route 40 that went through it I-80 business loop. So they didn't want the businesses to die.
Yeah.
But they did. You should see some of these towns.
It's God, I hate to sound so negative.
It's not negative. It is what it is. It's just
realistic.
There's a word for that, of like the
urban decay.
Yes, decay. Yes,
it's
because people just drive by the places.
Yeah,
there's really no reason to stop there. There's a gas station. You know what I mean?
I think the place that we visited so far, that we've gone through on 40, that has been the most like that. Reno, Nevada was a very scary place. It reminded me a lot of Atlantic City. For those of you who are local to us,
scary, but it was shitty.
That's scary to me.
Okay.
I'm a small person that can be easily kidnapped.
It was Atlantic City, but instead of an ocean, there was mountains.
Yes. And it was scary to me because Atlantic City is scary to me.
I just hate it. Yeah, Veronica, yes, like Route 66. But Route 66, because it has like this mystery or thing about it that Route 40 doesn't have. Route 66 is like the American highway.
I'm not sure.
So there's businesses that build up because of that.
Doesn't have that.
Because of the road trip thing. 40 isn't really embraced like that.
No, and I'm not sure why. It changed how long it was and where it started and stopped so many times throughout its life.
That is what happened to 66, but now there's a culture about 66 since that happened. But there is still a lot of depletion down there. Tiffany can't wait for us to come through Frederick. We'll see in probably about a month. We'll be coming through.
Based on how long it's taken us to get through, although we are in a new time zone. I didn't realize.
Mark wants to know if it's a Rambo town or more like a near dark town.
Rambo.
There's been some Rambo towns.
Yes. Elko is a little bit of a Rambo town.
I guess. Yeah, but no police came in.
No. Well,
and whisked us to the other side of town.
No, not yet. I'm sure that
What's
will
up,
happen.
Alex?
I'm sure that will happen at some point. Oh man, I'm glad we finally had decent enough internet. Of course, in a parking lot. I can't be in a store with internet this good.
Tiffany, great. It's beautifully heartbreaking. It is. I'm sure other opportunities arose, but there are people that stayed in these towns and still live in them.
Yeah.
And we're not sure
what they do.
Or like what.
How they live. I don't know. What do they do? There's nothing. There's literally nothing, and they live there. I don't know how.
Salt Lake City's cool. We got here last night. And
it's hip here.
We were downtown. The place was packed with like young people. Fucking young people.
We decided to stay in Salt Lake City
because it was too cold to camp.
Well, we've had this issue a couple nights where it's been too cold for us to sleep in the van.
It's a 1971
so she's just looking at cars driving by. I knew that a few places would be chilly. I think once we get over the mountains, we won't have this problem anymore.
We didn't realize it was going to go down well into the 30s.
It's like 27 degrees. I can't sleep. Even with our body heat, that's still like only 42 degrees.
I'd be fine.
Anyway, so we decided to stay in Salt Lake City, and it's a very hip, downtown, cute area that we were in, because there's this flea market that was today. The biggest flea market in Utah.
We were so pumped about
We were so pumped. I'm looking at reviews. I'm seeing pictures. I'm like, oh my God, this is going to be amazing. And no offense, it was really cute if you really want a tote bag made out of an old rug. It was the most amazing.
There were some doggos there.
There were dogs there. There were a lot of like gluten-free, vegan, hand-woven crocheted mittens and stuff like that.
Hey, Gil, how are you? Hal is telling us all kinds of toy stores that are here. We
They're
know
all
about
closed.
Rogue Toys.
They're all
Rogue
closed.
might be open, but
Rogue
Rogue
might
is
be
like
open. We're not going to Rogue. We're good.
They're like the guys from
Pawn Stars.
I'm good.
I don't need that in my life. A lot of places are closed today, Hal.
We're not going to find any deals there to pass on to you guys.
Well, that's part
for
of
sure.
it, yeah. But also, I don't know. We're trying to stick to 40 as much as possible, and Rogue Toys is way
tote bag out of a rug.
Yes, it was a very
more of a hippie artisan vibe. Totally,
absolutely, and that's great. Just not really what we were looking for.
And there was like an old woman there with records that were 3 times the price.
Everything was really overpriced.
BT&T is not open until Tuesday. We will be long gone.
Yeah, we will be long gone.
We're heading to Denver tonight. I don't know where we're going to sleep tonight. We're going over the Rocky Mountains. I'm not doing it in the dark because I don't want to miss anything.
No,
so we don't know where we're going to stay.
We'll see what's
Tomorrow is at least Mile High Comics.
Yeah. Now, again, they're not quite on 40. They're about 5 minutes off of 40, but it is worth that detour just to stop there, to say that we've been there.
Mr. Dave Corson, the Eagle fan, has an awesome trip. He's living vicariously through us. Your partner should have been with us.
Yes, the Scullys.
The Scullys might have been coming, but we had to call it off. We had to postpone the Scully Daniels Donner recreation.
That's why I feel fine about glazing over some things, because we are going to not retrace our steps. We're going to drive a different way and come back a different way on a different trip with very dear friends of ours.
Has anybody paid any attention to Bartertown? Have you posted some stuff?
The VIPs sold.
Thank God for our VIPs.
Picked up a few things earlier this week.
Cool.
When we did our sneak peek.
We knew we weren't going to, without us sitting there and doing it.
That's the thing. The biggest problem is that we're in the car and I'm like, oh, I'll do this while we're driving because he's driving and I'm not, so I'll do it in the car. I have no internet. Or when I finally have internet, Facebook says error, and I just give up. And now I'm sitting in a parking lot.
Colorado is absolutely gorgeous. It was our first choice when we decided to move, but we didn't get that job, Tiffany. So we can't wait to see Colorado. Yeah. Our friend Tom.
Just came back from there, right?
No, he's coming there Wednesday.
Oh wow!
We're gonna pass like ships in the night. I know.
Wow.
Keith Bartley found a classified breaker and RAM. Congratulations, man! We haven't stopped at any Targets. I'm not doing that kind of shopping.
I think your breaker and RAM actually was delivered to the store earlier this week.
Yay, me!
I think, or could it?
Because you're getting all the stuff on this trip. I'm not getting anything.
Well, that's not entirely true.
Nothing for
Farpoint
me.
is getting a bunch of stuff.
I'm getting all the views and getting to do all the driving.
You like to drive, I thought.
I love it.
You say you love it.
Enjoying the landscape photos, Kevin said. Well, listen, Kevin, that's what it's all about, man. Listen, finding the stuff is cool, but really driving on the salt flats.
That was really cool.
I never thought I would do that in my life. So it's weird when you go to Bonneville, it says Bonneville Raceway this way, and you're like, oh, this is where
I'm expecting like a loopy-loop thing,
and
round thing, and a gate.
Not a loop.
Like
no, I know it's a straight
something.
line.
I was expecting
but I was expecting
something.
like a gate, maybe a grandstand, maybe like a booth.
Anything.
Maybe it's nothing.
Nothing.
It's a road.
Literally, the road just stops.
Ends.
Yeah.
Right? The asphalt ends.
Yeah.
And for miles around you, it's just salt
nothing.
flats.
It's just white.
And it's just people hanging out there, like a campground. Like there's nothing there, nothing built, nothing.
Now we ended up.
So you get to do whatever you want there.
Yeah, we ended up there right at sunset, totally by accident, and apparently that is the best time to take photos. We saw a
Speaking
model.
of, Kevin said he loved your side mirror sunset photo. That's us driving away from Bonneville.
I thought it was really artsy. There was like a model doing a photo shoot of clothing. There was a guy there with, what was that, a Porsche? He wasn't hitting it. He was just taking pictures.
He was taking glamour shots of his Porsche, and I wanted to be like, dude, that's not what that Porsche is for.
We're like, dude, gun it. And
I was not yelling.
I was.
That Porsche is not for glamour shots. That Porsche is for getting on it.
Yeah. So Gil asked, how big is our trip? Gil, for those of you that may not know, Farpoint is located right on historic Route 40 in Mays Landing, New Jersey. Historic Route 40 originally ran from San Francisco, California to Atlantic City, New Jersey. Now we're only about 15 minutes outside of Atlantic City. We hopped on an airplane earlier this week and we flew to San Francisco, and we have been driving home on Route 40. It's pretty much exclusively on Route 40 because we want to highlight all of the small town America, mom and pop, antique malls, comic shops, toy stores, cool stuff that we see, roadside America. on our trip.
We did see Willie Wheaton.
We did see what Willie
Wendover Will.
Wendover Willie. He is the largest mechanical cowboy in the world.
Which is the kind of stuff we wanted to see.
Yeah.
Dude, the Donner Pass, the mountains coming over.
Donner Pass was
what mountains are they we came through into Nevada?
The Rocky Mountain.
No.
Colorado.
No, there's a name for those mountains we came through. They're big.
The Wasatch. We're in the Wasatch Valley right now.
Okay. Mark said all of our photos in the flats were amazing. We've been really enjoying it. Time is flying by. I mean, tomorrow is a week.
I can't believe it's been a week already. Well, not really, because we left on Monday, but all of Monday,
a traveling day, yeah.
We had layovers, we're flying, it was all that. We didn't get to our hotel until like 9 o'clock at night.
Yep, and I don't like driving past dark because I don't like to miss anything.
Yeah.
You know, the point of this isn't to get home as fast as we can. The point of this is to see as much as we can.
Yeah.
We saw some cool stuff about the Victory Highway, which is what 40 was built on.
And the Lincoln Highway.
Those are old, like, old wagon train roads, basically.
Part of Route 40 is actually the path that the Donner Party took, which is what made them get stuck and stranded and have to eat each other, because they took a shortcut through the Hastings cutoff, and it turns out the shortcut added like 7 months to their trip.
It killed them all, basically.
It killed 38 of the 55 of them.
Do the research on the Donner Party. It's crazy. Dave J. Bailey said the thing came to life and terrorized the whole town once. The big cowboy.
Wow.
Wendover Will.
Holy crap, I didn't know that.
I don't think that really happened.
True. Maybe it did.
But maybe that was in an episode or something. Did Dave just make that up?
Dave, if you just made that up, you should turn that into something.
So we're coming down the hill,
He's
right?
63 feet
We're coming
tall.
out of the salt flats. We're coming out of that area. And in the distance, I see this gigantic cowboy. And I knew we were coming into the town of Wendover. So Penelope's like, oh my God, what's that? And I was like, oh, that's Wendover Willie. Joking, because that's my sense of humor.
Uh-huh. And we get closer and closer, and his name is Wendover Will.
And Penelope's like, you read that somewhere.
He must have.
No, that's just my dumb sense of humor.
Subconsciously embedded in your brain.
But what's cool is right near there is a arch for the Victory Highway, where they opened the Victory Highway there in like the 1906 or something. Yep. And there was pictures of it, and the history is really cool. Yeah, Dave said that was 100% fiction. I guess me and Dave have a lot of that kind of thing in common.
We should check out the Wool Barn across the way.
I'm good.
I would like to get some gluten-free vegan wool so I can make some mittens.
So you can sleep in 30-degree weather and we can stop getting hotel rooms? Because that's what we need to do.
But hotel rooms have running water.
Hey, you want to see some of the stuff we bought just now?
Are we going to do a...
Show the Garfield trash can.
I just put it away.
Oh.
Does anybody want to buy it?
Anybody want to buy a Garfield trash can? We bought this for y'all. We bought it for next Sunday's Bartertown. Like, we're loading up on stuff to just sit and do next Sunday for Bartertown.
I hope we have a parking lot like this next Sunday where we can actually do actual Bartertown somehow.
Where are we going to be?
Close
to home.
I don't know.
Probably.
Too close to home.
Too close to home.
Too close to home. I don't know. That's really cool. Do I really have to drag all this stuff back out?
Nah.
They're going to see it next week for Bartertown.
We just did a haul video.
I bought a bunch of t-shirts. So we're doing... Hal, send Justin some coffee out here in Utah.
I look like a crypt keeper or...
A ghoul, a grave-bound ghoul, I think is the phraseology he used, which I really loved.
Thanks, Hal.
So this is... I'm just going to keep talking because I don't know what else to do. This is a book that we purchased before we left. So in 1953, a gentleman named George Stewart traveled Route 40. He was the first time that Route 40 went from coast to coast.
He's so famous for doing this stuff and writing about this stuff that there's Donner Summit, and right next to Donner Summit is Stewart Summit, named for him.
It's named for the gentleman who wrote the book. So that was
He didn't write this book.
Exactly. If you'd let me talk, I'd get to that. In 1953, he traveled from coast to coast on Route 40 because it had just been finished in 1951 from coast to coast. And he wrote an amazing book called US 40. And he took a bunch of awesome pictures at little places all around and just talked about America at that point in time. And 30 years later, Thomas and Geraldine Vail wrote their version of his book, US 40 today.
Retracing his steps.
And they retraced his exact steps. Now, by that point, the portions that are still decommissioned today were decommissioned then west of Silver Summit, Utah. So they had to retrace steps and find roads and whatnot. So we've been following their maps for this leg of the journey, just trying to retrace.
No, we're not really like taking the same pictures as them and all that.
You know, their goal to write this book, the Vails, was to specifically copy his exact book. Like they met with him right before he passed away and like got his permission to do it and got all of his old notes and stuff like that. But George Stewart he was very famous for writing books like this. He wrote a really famous book about the Donner Party, The Hunger Ordeal.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Scary.
Hey, Tara.
Hey.
A little late. We went a little late too.
So we got messed up when we came into Utah. The time changed, and we didn't realize. So we still thought we were 3 hours behind.
So for the first
2 hours behind.
5 days or whatever, we were on 3 hours behind you guys.
Yeah, now we're 2.
We didn't realize until this morning. Selena was working the store, and we were like, "Oh, you're getting ready to close." She's like, "No, we have an hour left."
Yeah.
And we were like, "Wait a second." So we checked, and now we're only 2 hours behind. So we're getting closer to home.
Want to do some Pilates? There's a Pilates place over there.
Oh, Pilates!
It's right next to the vegan.
JR, what's up, man? Bar. So I've seen a total of 2 Dodge Magnums the entire trip between Salt Lake City and San Francisco. I've seen 2. One 6-cylinder and one. I'm not sure if it was an RT and SRT8. I didn't get to see the front bumper.
Hal said that by the time the coffee gets here, we'll be in another state.
Well, we're going to be in Colorado soon.
So, guys, I'm going to try to post some more of our DC versus Marvel stuff. If you want to buy some cool,
Doesn't seem
not,
too
that's
popular.
cool.
Yeah, don't feel pressured.
Listen,
we love y'all.
I'm going to do it anyway. I prepped all this stuff and brought all these pictures. So one way or another, it's either going to you guys or going on eBay. If I have internet, here's the problem. I'm not going to sit in this parking lot and do it. We're going to be driving, and by the time we drive, I won't have internet.
See, me driving is work.
It is.
So while I'm driving, Penelope should be doing work.
And I'm trying to do work, except there's no internet.
So maybe edit video or something. Robert Kimsey, got to play the punch bug game. Tara kicked my ass on that. I've seen 1.5.
We saw 1.5. That's literally exactly it. We saw one in San Francisco.
Half is hard to explain.
And we saw the one outside of that antique shop.
So we went to a place called...
Was that the American Rust?
American Rust. It sounds like he wants a Learning Channel TV show.
American Rust.
American Rust. Come here if you want to buy a hubcap from a 1932 Mercury Sable.
So American Rust Company was very... Their sign even said, mantiques and girl stuff, too.
It smelled like engines inside, which I loved.
Yeah, that was...
So he had a bug, but it looked like they cut 2 feet out of the middle of it and welded it back together. It was a 1-person, 1-seat Volkswagen Beetle. It was pretty crazy looking because there was no weld seam. The window was
They truncated
perfect.
it this way or this way?
Sideways.
Weird.
Yes, it was skinny.
Weird.
It was weird.
I didn't realize that. I thought it was just a buggy.
Car talk. What's up, Tommy?
Oh gosh. You guys are gonna talk about
Dude,
cars
JR. You don't know how bad I wished I had something to drive on the salt flat.
At least the van we're in is a Dodge. He felt okay about that. At least it was a Dodge.
Yeah, we pulled on, and I was like, man, I wish I had a cool car. And
I thought he was gonna do donuts, but he was like,
no, not this is a rental van.
You know what's really cool? And I noticed this. So as we're driving, I have my map up on my phone because I have maps, but I don't have Facebook, so I can't do any work. So I have the maps up and the satellite image is overlaid. And you can actually see on the satellite imagery the image of people doing donuts and burnouts on the salt flats just all throughout all the left and right side of the road. That was really cool.
So playing Punch Buggy, right? Playing that game, is it still only the vintage bugs or do modern bugs count?
I would think only vintage. But that's
Boy, there's not that many on the road. I mean, when we were kids, there was tons.
Yeah. All right. I am right in the sun here. The sun has moved.
I'm yawning. I want to get driving.
I am roasting.
No donuts, sorry. First of all, to do donuts in a front-wheel drive vehicle, you have to put it in reverse. It's the only way it works.
We could do reverse donuts.
I would have got sick. Vintage only. Vintage only. Everybody's like, no, vintage.
Yeah, it's vintage.
Veronica plays with them both. Any bugs count, Dave J. Alex, I think when you drive coast to coast, you can punch people whenever you want. No. There's have I wanted to punch anybody?
Some drivers. So everyone in California was so nice.
Andrew Magazoo.
And people driving were so chill. Justin was raging though. If someone would not let him in, he'd freak out and the person would just be like, hey, it's cool, man. And Justin wanted to punch them.
Wow, Rob. So we actually saw a van. 5 points, huh? We actually saw one.
A bug van or a Volkswagen?
Volkswagen van.
Oh, we've seen a few.
Yeah.
Yeah. Reverse donuts. Okay, are we going to sign off?
Yeah, we're going to sign off.
Oh, we said we wanted to show them the mountain before we signed off.
We're going to try and show you these mountains.
I can do it. I got this. All right.
This is the view from downtownish Salt Lake City.
Wait, I got it. You're putting your hand over the thing.
Sorry, guys.
All right, here. I have to click it two times. Oh, it's just frozen on my face here.
There's a mountain range up there. It's pretty inspiring. I love seeing snow at the top of mountains.
It's pretty cool.
It's we're just not used to it. Yeah, I guess if you live here and grow up here, it means nothing. Just like looking at I still love looking at the ocean, but
yeah,
I'm not like, oh my God, the ocean.
I get it. Like, because we're locals, like we don't even
leave it over here.
Look at that bad boy.
That is Mount Shivago, named for John Shivago, who started the Mormon religion, right?
God.
Didn't Moses come to the mountain and give him the Mormon tablets?
The Mormon tablets?
Yeah, they're like
that's what you take when you have a headache.
I forget how that started, that whole thing.
No, that's not how it started. I know how it ended. MormonGirls.com, that's how it ended.
Mark was having height anxiety driving through San Fran.
All right.
There is a sweet dinosaur museum in Vernal, Utah. Anytime in West, the mountains are amazing.
Vernal. I think either we're going to pass through there or we already have.
Have fun with Pilates and vegan. Dude, I have not been eating Pilates and vegan. I'm going to come home.
You can see behind us, there's all these pillows. Look at all the pillows and stuff we have back there. My luggage. All right.
That's cool, Andrew. He said Emily was stunned the first time she saw the ocean. That's cool. Because we're so...
I don't want to say we're blasé about it, but we're so accustomed to it. All right. I can't hold this up here. It's hurting my arm.
Tom, we've seen...
Right, there we go.
There are. I hate to do this to you. There are multiple largest balls of twine. It depends on how it's made.
Oh, yeah. And it depends on if you mean by volume or if you mean by weight or if you mean by actual circumference. We have seen one of the largest balls of twine in Wisconsin. That was by weight. That was the largest by weight.
Yeah, that was...
JFK. That was our last trip last year.
What was his name? JFK Cooper or something.
No, it's just JFK, I think.
That was weird.
Check out our videos from last year, our road trip last year.
Have you seen a Route 40 diner? Not yet.
No, because we're not actually technically
That'll start happening.
It will. We're not on Route 40.
Motorhead friends.
Yes.
Check the page. We did stop at Route 40. First place we saw that had a Route 40 was called Route 40 Classics. We were driving. She saw the sign. I saw a 70 Javelin, like a 68 El Camino. They were car builders and restorers. No frickin' Dodges. Not one.
Well, they didn't have to restore or rebuild them because they're already perfect, right?
So anyway, that was the first place we saw that had a Route 40 name to it.
Because that was in California. And in California...
Historic Route 40.
Yeah, they did a thing in California where they, proclaimed it Historic 40.
Yeah.
I'm going to roll my window down because I'm dying.
We're going to go hit Route 40.
We're going to actually hit actual Route 40.
A Javelin is kind of close to a Mopar, yeah. Well, it's an AMC, all makes combined. They have all kinds of...
Is that
yeah, like they did things like... They have like a GM starter and a Ford transmission and...
Okay.
And they're rare, so they're their own thing, which is Dodge is like one of the rarer of the rest of the big three.
Okay.
And the best, right?
It's just words.
Tommy and JR, my Dodge brothers. We are Dodge brothers in this group.
All right.
I'm starting in my own group.
Yeah.
Farpoint Friends of Mopar.
Okay.
All right.
I'm going to start my own group. Mormon Girl Farpoint fans.
Even Doug loves old muscle cars.
Okay. I mean, lots of people do. It's cool.
All right. Peace from Mormon land. Next time we see you, we'll be in somewhere in Colorado in the Rockies.
Yeah, somewhere.
If we get internet in the Rockies, we'll go live in the Rockies.
Yes, if we get internet between here and there, I'm going to try to do more Bartertown for y'all.
Love you guys.
Bye.
Thanks.